So speaking of fundraisers, we have some distinguished gentlemen here joining us from VFW Post 334. We have Chuck Haskin and Randy Stetson is joining us. And thanks for coming out here, guys. You have a special fundraiser coming up in a couple of weeks.
Well, thank you, Joe. And with that, Randy is our director over our Buddy Poppy program, and I'll let him speak about our dates that we have for this year.
All right, what do you have going on?
Well, we have our poppies, of course. We have a lot of different events coming. We have the men out there that are going to be asking for donations for our poppies, and most of that at the Kroger stores and stuff like this, McDonald's, all over the place. So hopefully.
Last year I saw Bob Watros over at the Veterans Memorial, so there's going to be a presence there too, right?
Right.
And it definitely will be. That's our home base, basically, 334. So.
Yeah. What I like to tell people this time of the year is hit that ATM, have some cash in your wallet, because you don't want to, roll up on Heights Road and be sitting at the light and see poor Bob out there and go, I don't have any cash.
Yeah.
So don't use that as an excuse. Hit that ATM.
But this year, if they come up to a Kroger store or a McDonald's or a Sam's Club and they say, I have no cash, we take credit cards now.
All right.
Oh, really?
There we go.
Yes.
Look at that.
And we'll have on, right now we don't have on our signs, we have two of them right here, but we're going to put a little decal at the top. It has a QR code that you can go with your phone and you can donate at whatever time you want to donate or how much you want to donate, right on your phone in privacy right there.
See?
And it'll go directly to our account.
Got to stay on top of today's
Absolutely
technology.
have to, because money is getting in short supply.
I rarely carry cash in my wallet
A lot
anymore.
of people, yeah.
If I got mugged, they'd be out of luck.
Right,
Well,
same here.
Well,
Same here.
and some places don't even take cash anymore. I mean, obviously the local stores do, but you go to an event and you want to buy concessions and you cannot use cash. You have to use your card. So there's, less need, I guess, to carry it anymore.
Right. So now you have a reason.
Yeah.
Randy, do you know the history of the Buddy Poppy program?
Well, it started back in World War I, basically. What was his name, that Colonel?
Colonel Flanders.
Colonel Flanders. And he's seen the rows and rows of poppies, of red poppies, and these are all men that had died, and he created a poem. This sign here kind of shows the poppies behind you.
Tries to represent the field.
Yeah.
But he had a personal friend die and get buried in the field, and he went there to visit him. It had rained the previous day, and he gets out there, and these poppies appeared throughout this big cemetery over in Belgium. And the Colonel Flanger was a Canadian colonel, and he wrote this poem. And a young lady, and I can't remember the young lady's name, that came back to the United States after hearing this poem, tried to sell the idea of supporting our veterans who had passed with some kind of recognition. And hearing the poem was one way of using the poppy. And she sold the VFW on it. And the VFW came up with this one. It's trademarked. We call it the Buddy Poppy. And Buddy Poppy has got a trademark on it. So we're the only ones to hand out this one. You got other organizations that have poppies, but they will not look like these, which correspond pretty well with what they did over in Belgium's field.
Yeah.
And we've been doing this since about 1914.
Oh, wow.
And it used to be a huge program in the United States, especially after World War II, that we would have national sponsors, national Buddy Poppy girls on TV, and everybody heard of it. So a lot of our public's grandparents, they were very well what's going on. But in today's world, they don't advertise us too much anymore.
No, not so much.
And so the question is, what are you still doing to Buddy Poppy? Well, we're still remembering our veterans who passed away. We call it Memorial Day.
Right.
One way of doing that is proudly wear, like I'm wearing right now, a Buddy Poppy on Memorial Day, showing that you remember all the veterans who gave the ultimate price of this country having freedom, so they're losing their lives. So we remember one and all from all the different wars that we have, and unfortunately we have a lot of wars.
Definitely.
And Randy and myself were the Vietnam War. But we still remember all our brothers over there. Plus, we remember our brothers from Korea War, World War II, World War I, Civil War. And, you know, some of our cemeteries around here, they have all of those in the cemeteries. In particular, Leonard Cemetery has, I think a Civil War is the oldest grave site that's there.
Spanish-American War.
The Spanish-American War and World War I. Very old cemetery in Leonard.
Yeah.
But the Buddy Poppies are basically just done once a year. We do it. We're going to start the last weekend in April and go into the first 2 weekends of May. And through what we mentioned, Kroger's, Kmart, they're gone.
Used to be.
But
Kmart.
used to be. We used to have a World War II veteran that did Kmart in Lake
Yeah,
Orion,
yeah.
and he was excellent. He was excellent. I don't think we got any. Yeah, we don't have any World War II veterans out in our Poppy Drive this year.
Yeah.
We have only one left. So,
Wow.
but
Right.
a lot of our members, and we got quite a few, go out on the streets. And when I say streets, Bob will be on the streets by the memorial.
Yep.
We'll have somebody on the streets on
Addison and Leonard,
Anderson,
they're
all right.
on Lakeville Road in Rochester.
Yep.
We'll
Oh,
be
wow.
doing it there. And of course, in Leonard, we have an old timer there. He's been there for how many years?
So he's a
20
Korean War vet. So he is 86, 87.
Right.
He sits in the middle of that intersection for 4 days, and he don't get up, and he don't move. He hits every direction. It's this four-way stop.
He's our #1 guy, just about.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
he's really
he-
good, a really good
he-
guy. He knows everybody, so.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
brings
stops
me
the cars.
this. Yeah.
I'm surprised the police don't come and say something to him. So, hey, you can't do this, you know. But he
Hold up
does.
traffic.
He doesn't
He's done
care.
it for so long
Yeah.
Yeah.
that everybody expects him there, so they don't give him any problems. Anybody else, they wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah. Right.
But Bob has a big cooler. He has.
Oh, my
he's
God.
so busy he can't hold money. He just throws it in the cooler. And I think he weighs about 50 pounds when he brings it to me. And,
He doesn't count it. He just
Yeah,
brings
he
it
just
in.
brings it in. Yeah,
He counts it. So.
yeah. I count
Yeah.
all his money for him.
That's one thing that's encouraging. When I shot video of poppies being handed out last year, and some of the containers that I've seen are overflowing. I think I
I
saw
hope so.
yours out there, and it's like that's a good sign that you
That's
have to be careful
absolutely.
that it's not blown away. You
Yeah.
got to tuck it back in there. But people do respond.
We absolutely do. And the Poppy is our main fundraiser that we do for our post.
That's our bread and butter. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, and it's the way we can go out and do what we do.
Talk about
which is-
that. What are
which is-
some of the things that you give back to the community?
We support the community and we support our local veterans. So these poppies, every dollar we get is put into what we call a relief fund. And the only thing the relief fund can be used for is for helping your community or helping veterans and veteran programs. So it's not made for pay rent on a building. It's not made, anything like that. It's just help the community. How do we help the community? You joined us at Fish.
Fish.
We sponsor a couple shelves over there. We had a big
Yeah.
a sponsorship here through the Poppies. We're able to. We first started out with one shelf. Now we've got up to 2 shelves. And in particular, later they had called me and asked us, "Hey, we need." We found out that our community not only needs food, they also need baby diapers, and we don't have any. Can you help us out? So we went and got about $1,000 of baby diapers. We went and purchased through our relief fund for the have them for our community. And the biggest thing in demand at Fish right now is diapers.
Wow.
Right,
So it's for all the young kids out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've been shopping for diapers lately. They are expensive.
That's what I'm hearing.
They are
yeah.
expensive. And so we're helping out there. In fact, we got an event coming down here in June at the VA hospital that they're helping the women veterans with kids to get them stuff. And so we're going to have a motion tonight to go out and get some more diapers for the VA and
Wow.
go from there. But other programs we do in here, we help support the all-night programs for the high school kids.
Around
And,
graduation.
yeah, I think it's an April time frame, April, May.
We've
And
helped the young
makes-
Marines in the past.
yeah, we used to have
A
young
lot
Marines.
of that.
But
we
we in the-
Support the memorial, not the memorial, but the orphanage in Eaton Rapids, Michigan. That's the national home for the orphans and stuff. So we support a lot there. So
Wow. Yeah, back in February, you guys popped in during our food drive and did a check presentation to
Yep.
the Fish Food Pantry, and I'm sure that goes a long way. That's really awesome.
Yep. That was a great day. It was $2,400. Helped put you over your top of your goal of that day.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
That was good for that
Yeah.
day. And good people over at Fish. Good people at Fish. And getting
Yeah.
the word out in the community about Fish and what they're all about. You know, it's our own little community grocery store for the people that really need the help and
Yeah.
get them through.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we're just a few weeks away from the post office food drive,
Yeah.
where people are asked, you'll receive a bag in your mailbox that you're encouraged to fill up with canned goods and box goods, and then leave it at your mailbox, and the postal carriers will take it in and sort it and deliver it to
Right.
Fish. So that's just
Yeah.
a few weeks away. That's called the Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive. So,
Right.
yeah, yeah. So another big weekend that's about a month and a half away is Memorial Day. I think one of the biggest weekends of the year here in Lake Orion. What are your plans on Memorial Day?
Well, on Memorial Day, we have our fantastic Best in the State Memorial for our veterans. And
the beautiful memorial.
Yeah.
It sure is, and
Yeah,
it keeps
the
getting
best.
better and better, doesn't it?
Yeah. definitely.
And they will, after, I think it's going to be after the, going to have a race in the morning,
The 5K, yeah.
5K, and after, and it's not only a race for running, it's also walking. And after that's complete, I think they're going to start either 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock. I've heard it going back and forth on what they started. Last year, I think we were 11 o'clock, and it was, they thought it was kind of early, and people weren't all back yet. But that place is packed.
Oh,
And,
definitely.
and we'll have a tent set up, and we'll be out there handing out our poppies and looking for donations. But it's a great, great event. Don't know who the keynote speaker is. I know they're looking right now
Yeah.
to see who they can get for a speaker.
There's usually the parade in downtown Lake Orion is
That's
before
early.
the ceremony.
That's early in the morning.
Yeah,
early in the morning.
So we have
Yeah,
the
it's like a-
5K.
Yeah.
There's a little ceremony. The American Legion obviously is very heavily involved in Memorial Day too. So there's a little ceremony at, I think it's called Evergreen Cemetery on Orion Road. There's a little ceremony there at
Yes,
the War
yeah.
Monument, and they
yeah.
place flags at the veterans' graves. Then there's another little ceremony in Children's Park as the 5K run is coming to an end. American Legion has a little ceremony where they drop a wreath into Paint Creek.
Paint Creek.
Then there's the parade, which is always awesome, and then
Yeah.
of course the big ceremony at the memorial at
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
It's
So
a great day, great day. But we don't want to lose sight of what that day is about.
right.
And it's there to remember ones who've fallen in the name of this country.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, people, they enjoy the 3-day weekend, and they say, we're celebrating Memorial Day, and I don't know if
Yeah.
celebrating is the right term.
it's a remembrance.
Remember, right.
Day, a Remembrance Day going through there.
Yeah,
And Veterans Day, which is in November, is more celebrating the veterans.
exactly. Yeah, we're
Who
honoring.
are
the
alive
veterans.
today and
Yeah,
doing their
yeah.
things, or out there actually fighting the fight for us right there today. And it's amazing when you hear of all these different places we have physicians. I get in contact every once in a while with the company I used to be associated with, the 716th Military Police. And they are in 16 different countries right now, including in the United States for the first time, guarding our border down in California. But they're everywhere. And
Yeah.
we kind of forget, if you don't see them on the evening news, that we have services all around the world all the time.
Yeah,
So we can't forget about them.
yeah,
Because another thing we do is try to wear red on Friday to turn around and keep wearing red till they all come back home. But I know red gets used for the heart program and some other ones. But I've been wearing red since, I don't know, I got out in 1972, so about 1973.
Oh, wow.
I started part of the program. And back then we even used to have candles on till everybody came home for your unit and to have it lit out there all the time. So,
yeah.
but today we still remember them with our red and look for everybody else to do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But whatever we can do to recognize those guys that give their lives and their families, because as Randy mentioned, after World War I, there was a lot of orphans in the city of Detroit just wandering the street. They had no place to go. And a young lady and a dentist had the idea with the VFW cooties. They of getting a building or a hotel or something for the kids. Well, this dentist went and contacted a farmer in Eaton Rapids, and he donated all his land, and it was under 100 acres, but pretty close to 100 acres of cornfields and bean fields. And they went out there and wiped it out and built the Children's Village. Now it's called a National Home, because it's more than just children there, it's adults too. But any veteran or veteran's family that gets in financial troubles and needs to have a little bit of help with their, because they got kids, and they make sure we take care of them, they can apply and go out to live at the National Home for usually a max of 4 years, but a lot of them only get 2 years. They go out there, VFW supplies all the household goods, refrigerators, stoves, beds, living room outfits. They get that all free, come out. They have a little store out there they can get their groceries from. We keep filled up with stuff. And it's amazing. People just Google the National Home, VFW National Home. And there's only one. It's in Michigan, but each house has one of the states on it, and that state helps support that home.
Yeah.
So we got the Michigan house that we support. Ohio has the Ohio house, and some of the outlying states out west, two of them will get together and they support one of the houses.
Yeah.
And with that, I think UAW has got a house out there. But if everybody hasn't been out there, they're supporting their 100th anniversary this year.
Wow.
So they're having a lot of events going on. If you go out to their site, they'll tell you what, when, and where all these different events are going on in the celebration of the National Home.
Awesome.
And that's our number one charity that we support every year. And if we have a good year in poppies, they have a good donation. If we don't
great.
have a good year, we do what we can, and there's still always our number one donation.
Yeah.
So go through there.
Now we have to wrap things up in a little bit, but I wanted to make sure that you give out contact information. And we talked earlier before the show that you're losing your older members, but that's not being matched by younger members coming in.
Absolutely.
So here's your chance to recruit and give out any contact information you want to give out.
If we have any wartime veteran out there through Iraqi or in Afghanistan, any type of a war, you've been sent overseas, you're eligible to be in the VFW. And your eligibility gets you in and be part of our crew. And what we do, we go out and do poppies, but also we participate in parades. We participate in all kinds of different events, veterans events in the area, because we're trying to recognize veterans. But in membership, if anybody, we are director of membership, as Randy's director of poppies. We have Bob Mahan, and I don't have his phone number right now, but I will give it to you. And he's our main contact for membership. But when we're out doing the poppies, if anybody's interested to join the VFW, to ask the person who's giving out the poppies. They'll have information about our organization. They'll have applications for it. And this is probably one of the problems. We get the most members to join is during our poppy event, because we see so many veterans walking up with a veteran's hat on.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And we start talking, and we talk, and we talk, and we talk, and eventually we get somebody to join with us.
And that's another thing, right? The community, right? To join others who understand, who
Right.
have also gone overseas and, you know, like you said.
You have to be an overseas veteran,
Right.
or
Join
a
the
combat
VFW.
veteran to be into
Right.
our organization. So.
Right,
Yeah.
and to be able to join a community of others who have also been there and understand
Right.
what you've gone
Definitely.
through.
Yeah, we can share things that we know.
Yeah.
But one of the greatest things I liked about the VFW is we could get calls from the schools all the time, in the spring and in the fall. Some come in to explain the Vietnam War. We can give you a first-hand account of what happened in Vietnam and help them with their studies. Mostly that was the high school kids. We've gone out with the junior high school. We'll go out and sit with them. They come up with some interesting questions
Yeah.
about what does it be a soldier, or be in the Navy, or be in the Air Force.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can answer that because we have all the services in there. Don't have any Space Force yet, but
Yeah.
they're too young. They'll be there eventually.
And I know a couple times a year you have coffee with a veteran at the memorial.
Coffee with
right?
the
So
veteran down
That's
at the
another
memorial.
opportunity to meet with your local veterans.
Local
and hear
veteran
their
or local
stories.
community.
Yeah.
And so when we're out there in the parade and they see us marching out there, because we always carry the military planes, their flags, or the other event, we have coffee with the vet. They'll know who we are and what we do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I believe you're on Facebook too, right?
We
You have
got our
Facebook
own
page.
VFW Facebook.
Yeah,
It's
post 334.
VFW Post 334, yes.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Once again, thanks for coming out, guys. We're happy to help get
we
the word out.
appreciate you
and-
giving us the time and your support that you give us on all the programs that we have.
Oh, no, you guys are doing great things in the community. So,
And thank you for your service.
Well,
Both
thank
yeah,
you, ma'am.
yeah,
Thank you,
definitely.
George.
Thank-